So while scrolling through Pinterest in an aesthetically inclined haze, I came across this picture. And seeing that it was from a movie that I'd never heard of, I added it to my movie list. And that movie was 1972's Requiem for a Vampire, a French movie with very little dialogue that follows two young women on the run who end up in the clutches of a vampire and his group of would-be vampires. And it was this movie that revealed to me the double-edged sword that is my movie list, because the fatal flaw is there's no real rules for what can go on it. All I have to do is see a clip or an image of something, and if it sparks interest, it goes on the list. Anything goes. The only real rule is that I just have to finish the movie. And this anything goes approach has led me to watching a 1970s vampire softcore erotica with a confusing story but pretty cinematography, and it's really left me wondering if I stumbled upon something great or if I'm just trying to convince myself that it was. Maybe I'm trying to see the beauty in everything a little bit too much, because the story for this movie really makes no sense. So these two girls run away, dress up as clowns, attend a New Year's party, kill a man, escape with another man, he dies in a shootout, they burn the car and his body, they end up in a cemetery, captured not by vampires but by people who want to be vampires, they get bit by the one real vampire, there's a 15-minute sex scene that has nothing to do with our characters, and then they're told that they can't be vampires and virgins. I don't know why, but I guess you can't be both. And then one of them hooks up with a man, and that's somehow a problem, and then the vampire is tired of life, so he lets them go. And that's it. That's the movie. So I was, for one, very confused, and I had to look up what other people felt about this movie because I really didn't know how to process what I just watched. And I think I now maybe have an appreciation for it. So the director of this movie is Jean Rollin, and his whole thing is that he mostly makes vampire movies, specifically in the fantastique genre, a film genre that works with supernatural elements that appear in the real world, and they essentially blur the line between what's real and what's not. And his films have been found on Criterion, so they're not necessarily just weird porn. And while trying to understand him and his films, I actually found this really dedicated group of fans who applaud him for his use of cinematography and how everything manages to feel like a dream. And that's when it clicked for me. I liked his movie because it really was pretty and dreamy, and maybe it didn't have to make sense. It reminded me a bit more of X-rated versions of movies like Daisies and Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, where you watch these films and feel like you're in a dream. And I guess I say all of this to say that I have a tendency to be someone who maybe judges a book or a movie by its cover a little bit too often, and maybe I judge this movie a little bit too hard upon its initial watch. And that maybe, just maybe, sometimes it's okay to have style over substance.